Hearing the news, the monks cried out, "Elder is dead, and the robe is nowhere to be found. What should we do?" Wukong, angered, shouted, "You must have hidden it." He lifted his golden-banded cudgel, ready to strike them. The monks, terrified, begged for mercy, saying, "Master, we really didn't see anything." Tang Sanzang also intervened, saying, "Don't hurt them, let's ask again." Wukong asked the monks, "Are there any demons here?" The monks replied, "There's a powerful one called Black King in the southeast at Blackwind Mountain." Wukong smiled and said, "No need to say more, the robe must have been stolen by that black monster." He instructed the monks, "I'll go find that monster. You stay here and serve my master. If anything goes wrong, you'll see." With a swing of his cudgel, he smashed a brick wall. The monks, feeling weak-kneed and numb, knelt down and said, "Master, go with peace of mind. We will definitely serve you wholeheartedly." Wukong then rode his cloud and flew straight to Blackwind Mountain. In no time, Wukong landed on Blackwind Mountain. It was springtime, with birds chirping, flowers blooming, and beautiful scenery, making it a pleasant place. As Wukong was admiring the mountain scenery, he heard voices coming from a grassy slope. He hid behind a cliff to eavesdrop and saw 3 demons sitting on the ground. At the head was a black man, followed by a Taoist and a graceful gentleman, engaged in lively conversation. The black man laughed, "The day after tomorrow is my birthday, and I happened to acquire a precious robe last night. I plan to host a grand feast and invite all the mountain Taoists to celebrate, calling it the Buddhist Robe Gathering." The Taoist laughed, "Excellent. I'll definitely come on time." Unable to contain his anger upon hearing this, Wukong jumped out from the cliff, brandishing his cudgel, and shouted, "You bunch of monsters! You stole the robe and are still planning a Buddhist robe gathering? Return it to me now." The black man panicked and turned into a gust of wind to escape. The Taoist also flew away on a cloud, leaving only the graceful gentleman unable to evade Wukong's cudgel and was struck dead. It turned out he was a white snake demon. Wukong then chased after the black man, and after passing over mountain peaks, arrived at a cliff. There he saw a cave with 2 tightly closed stone doors, with a stone plaque above them bearing 6 large characters, "Blackwind Mountain Blackwind Cave." Wukong lifted his cudgel and shouted, "Open the door." The stone doors opened, and a little demon came out, asking, "Who are you to dare to cause trouble at our immortal cave?" Wukong cursed, "You suicidal beast, you dare call this an immortal cave? Go in and tell the Black King to quickly hand over the robe, and I'll spare your lives." The little demon was afraid and hurried inside to report. The Black King was none other than the Black Bear Demon. Knowing he couldn't avoid this, he armed himself, took a black tasseled spear, and prepared to fight Wukong. The Black Bear Demon came out of the cave and asked Wukong, "Who are you to dare utter such arrogance?" Wukong replied, "Your grandfather is none other than the great sage equaling heaven. If you don't return the robe, I'll level this Blackwind cave." The Black Bear Demon laughed, "So it's you, the useless monkey." Hearing the insult "useless monkey," Wukong immediately flew into a rage, scolding, "You vile demon! You dare insult your grandfather after stealing the robe? Take this." He swung his cudgel toward the demon, who dodged to the side. The Black Bear Demon thrust his long spear towards Wukong. They fought fiercely for over 10 rounds, with neither gaining the upper hand. As noon approached, the Black Bear Demon shouted, "I'm hungry, I'm going back to have my meal." He feigned an attack with his spear and then turned to enter the cave, closing the stone door behind him and refusing to come out again. Unable to break open the stone door, Wukong had no choice but to return to the Guanyin Temple and inform Tang Sanzang about the theft of the robe by the Black Bear Demon. The monks, upon hearing this, chanted, "Namo Amida Buddha. We have finally preserved our lives." After eating some vegetarian food, Wukong hurried back to Blackwind Mountain. Along the way, he saw a little demon carrying a sandalwood box, walking along the main road. Wukong suspected that there was something inside the box, so he descended from the cloud and struck the demon on the head with his cudgel, turning him into a meat patty. Opening the box, he found an invitation letter inside. It was an invitation from the Black Bear Demon for Elder Jincheng to attend the Buddhist robe gathering. After reading it, Wukong laughed heartily and said, Elder Jincheng's death was not in vain. He was colluding with demons. I'll disguise myself as him and retrieve the robe from the Black Wind Cave. Wukong transformed himself into the appearance of Elder Jincheng. He strode confidently to the entrance of the Black Wind Cave and called out, "Open the door." The little demon opened the door and recognized Elder Jincheng, inviting him inside. Wukong walked all the way to the courtyard, where he saw peach and plum trees competing in beauty, with clusters of orchids emitting a fragrant aroma, creating a serene atmosphere. At this moment, the Black Bear Demon came out to welcome him, saying, "Elder Jincheng, please have a seat inside." After entering the hall and taking a seat, Wukong said, "Last night, this humble monk acquired a robe, but before I could examine it, the temple caught fire and the robe was lost. I heard that it fell into the hands of the king, and I dare not ask for its return. I only hope to take another look at it." The Black Bear Demon smiled and said, "So that's the case. Let me go fetch it." Just as he was about to get up, a patrolling demon rushed in to report, "Your Majesty, the messenger sent to invite Elder Jincheng was killed on the roadside. It seems that the monkey has transformed into Elder Jincheng to deceive us into attending the Buddhist robe gathering." Upon hearing this, the Black Bear Demon thought, no wonder Elder Jincheng arrived so quickly. It turns out to be Sun Wukong. He quickly grabbed his spear and aimed it at Wukong. Wukong took out his staff and revealed his true form, blocking the spear. The two fought from the hall to the outside of the cave, then from outside the cave to the mountaintop, exchanging blows until they were breathing heavily and the surrounding landscape was being swept up by their clash. They fought until the setting sun turned red, with neither gaining the upper hand. The Black Bear Demon shouted, "Monkey, it's getting late today. Let's continue our battle another day." He then transformed into a clear breeze and returned to the cave, closing the door and refusing to come out again. With no other options, Wukong had to return to the Guanyin Temple. Tang Sanzang eagerly awaited Wukong's return and couldn't help but express his disappointment when he saw that the robe hadn't been retrieved. Wukong also felt guilty. The next morning, Wukong said, "This matter is all due to Guanyin Bodhisattva's negligence. Since there's a temple here, why allow a demon to live nearby? I'll go to the South Sea to reason with the Bodhisattva." With that, he rode his cloud and departed. Upon arriving at the South Sea, Wukong immediately confronted Guanyin Bodhisattva, saying, "Bodhisattva, how much benefit did you receive from the Black Bear Demon to allow him to live near your temple? Now he has stolen my master's robe and refuses to return it. I've come to ask you to retrieve it." Guanyin Bodhisattva scolded, "You reckless monkey. Clearly, you shut off your treasures to a villain, conjured wind to fuel the fire, burned down my temple, and now come to cause trouble at my place?" Wukong, feeling exposed, hurriedly bowed and said, "Forgive me, Bodhisattva. Please help me retrieve the robe." Guanyin Bodhisattva said, "Fine. For the sake of Tang Sanzang, I'll accompany you on this journey." She and Wukong then rode Auspicious Cloud and headed towards Black Wind Mountain. Upon arriving at Black Wind Mountain, they saw a Taoist walking towards them, holding a glass plate with 2 elixirs inside. He was walking with his head down and collided with Wukong. Wukong drew his golden-banded cudgel and struck the Taoist on the head, killing him instantly. The Taoist then revealed his true form, which was a grey wolf. Guanyin Bodhisattva exclaimed, "You monkey, why did you kill him?" Wukong replied, "Bodhisattva, this Taoist was a friend of the Black Bear Demon and came to participate in the Buddhist robe gathering." He picked up the plate and saw the words, "Made by Ling Suzi" engraved on the bottom. Wukong devised a plan. He first ate one of the elixirs and then said with a smile, "Bodhisattva, you transform into the Taoist, and I'll transform into the elixir. You go and coax that bear demon. When he swallows the elixir, we can subdue him." Bodhisattva hesitated upon hearing that they would transform into demons. Wukong said, "If Bodhisattva refuses, then let's each go our separate ways. Consider the robe a gift, but it means Tang Sanzang will lose out. Bodhisattva chuckled and said, "What a crafty monkey." She then transformed into Ling Suzi. Wukong exclaimed, "Wonderful. Is it a demon bodhisattva or a bodhisattva demon?" Bodhisattva laughed and said, "Whether as a bodhisattva or a demon, it's just a thought away." Wukong transformed into the elixir, slightly larger than the other one. Bodhisattva picked up the glass plate and went to the entrance of the cave. The little demons inside were shouting, "Ling Shu Immortal has arrived," and ran inside to report. Shortly after, the black bear demon came out to welcome them, saying, "Ling Shu Immortal, your arrival brings great honor." The two entered the cave and sat down. Bodhisattva picked up the plate, selected the larger elixir, and handed it to the black bear demon, saying, "This humble Taoist offers an elixir as a gift, wishing the great king a long life." The black bear demon politely accepted it. Just as he was about to swallow it, the elixir rolled into his mouth on its own. Inside the black bear demon's stomach, Wukong revealed himself and began kicking and punching, causing the demon great pain. Bodhisattva also revealed her true form and said, "Black bear demon, quickly hand over the robe." The black bear demon begged for mercy and handed over the robe. Bodhisattva took it but, fearing his disrespect, threw a hoop over his head. As soon as Wukong emerged from the black bear demon's nostrils, the demon stood up, roared loudly, and aimed his spear at Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva rose into the air, chanting a mantra, causing the black bear demon to drop his spear and roll around in pain on the ground. Wukong raised his cudgel to strike, but Bodhisattva stopped him, saying, "Don't take his life. I have no one to guard Mount Luojia, behind my temple. I'll take him to become the guardian deity." Wukong laughed and said, "Bodhisattva truly has a compassionate heart, unwilling to kill." Before parting, Bodhisattva handed the robe to Wukong and instructed, "Wukong, return and serve Tang Sanzang well. Stop showing off your treasures and causing trouble." Then, she took the black bear demon back to the South Sea. After Bodhisattva left, Wukong hung the robe on a tree, took his golden-banded cudgel, and smashed into the Black Wind Cave. But to his surprise, the little demons inside had already fled. So Wukong set fire to the cave, burning it down. Wukong returned to the temple with the robe, and Tang Sanzang was overjoyed. The monks were also delighted and immediately prepared a feast to celebrate with the master and disciples. The next morning, Wukong cleaned and packed his belongings, escorted Tang Sanzang, and set off to the west. The monks accompanied them for a long distance before turning back. To find out what happens next, please see the next episode, Gao Lao Shuang.